It was a win for MPs, with each one of them set to earn about 668,100,000 shillings in extra allowances and salary at the end of this month. This is after the court suspended the pay structure by the Salaries and Remuneration Commission that would have seen the allowances slashed. The taxpayer will now have to bear an extra financial burden of 278 million shillings to enable the lawmakers travel to their constituencies and pay for their maintenance of their top-of-the-range vehicles. All right, so let's just take a look at some of those numbers. Like I mentioned there, we're talking about 278 million shillings, which is going to go into cost of mileage, and different allowances. So let's just take a look at that. So we have the legislators who now have won in this latest battle. And remember that last year SRC came out to slash some of the allowances, and this time round it's a win for the legislators. Now the beneficiaries, looking at the graphics there, the senators 67, elected MPs 290, women reps 47, nominated representatives 12. So those will be the beneficiaries of this latest win. So there you go. So January allowances, 668,000 shillings will be the lump sum cash that the MPs will get at the end of this month. And of course, the fixed car maintenance, 356,525. Now, if you total those two, you get about actually plus the salary, 710,000. You get the total amount for each legislator will actually be 1.3 million shillings at the end of this month. That's quite a lump sum amount of money. Remember that this discussion brought about quite a number of conflicts with the MPs last year, saying that indeed they need their allowances as they do different things apart from just passing laws. So when they go to the constituencies, they need this money for different things when it gets to their constituencies' needs. But, of course, now they've won this particular case. Looking there at the next board, for constituencies beyond 375 kilometers, the MPs will pocket extra shillings for every additional kilometers. So you can imagine counties like in the coast region, 375 kilometers. After that, beyond that, every MP will get some extra shillings for every additional kilometer. So there you have it. At the end of this month, the legislators bagging 1.3 million shillings after that win. All right, so I want us to bring in my colleague, Patrick Amimo, who has been following up on this story since last year. Patrick, good morning. Now, how did this happen? How are the legislators able to win this particular case? They've gotten, these allowances back and, car grants that were abolished by Sarah Serem last year. How did this just happen?
Thank you, Betty. This particular matter we saw when the Sarah Serem Salaries Remuneration Commission put this new review for salaries for the state officers and public officers that was to serve for the next 4 years between 2017 to 2022. This is the matter that touched all state officers across the board, from the president up to the lowest cadre of a state officer, including even the county government. So we also saw MCAs were affected by this particular pay cuts. And Serem's argument then was that she was trying to manage the wage bill, because remember, Kenya has a ballooning wage bill and it's over 40% of the GDP, which is a worrisome trend, because globally the best practices means that the salaries and or wages should be below 10%. But for the Kenyan case, they've gone beyond, and it appears most of our money goes to salaries and remunerations at the expense of development. So that's why what Sarah Serem was trying to help the government rein in these extravagant expenditures, and in her calculations, she had managed to get at least to chop off 9 billion shillings, which she thought would go to development. But it appears now, from the look of things, that was just wishful thinking, and maybe it might not be implemented as such. Maybe the 9 billion shillings that she aimed to attract then has been, maybe it appears it will, is facing a lot of controversy, because the salaries, especially for the MPs, the new structure was to apply in the 12th Parliament, and this matter was gazetted in July before we went for the elections. But then MPs came and argued that they were not consulted, and they said they'd been ambushed. That's why they had to rush to court, and through Justice George Odunga of the High Court is the one who said, who put stay orders on this particular Gazette notice on December 15th, saying that this matter should not be implemented until the matter before the case that is before him is heard and determined. So the case is still ongoing. Justice Odunga will be listening to both parties, both from the Parliamentary Service Commission and the SRC, on why the new pay structures for these state offices, and especially members of Parliament, because it's the Parliamentary Service Commission that has put a case with the High Court. Other officers did not complain. So the matter before the court is to do with the Parliamentary Service Commission vis-a-vis the Salaries and Remuneration Commission. This matter, we saw the MPs, they acted in unison, because it's a matter that is touching on their welfare. When matters come to MPs' welfare, they always forget their partisan positions and support each other. And in this particular case, we saw, in fact, that is why, like in the 12th Parliament now, we're still having that the Parliamentary Service Commission is yet to be established, because MPs expressed their dissatisfaction against those MPs, those members who had been proposed to chair, to be members in the Parliamentary Service Commission, because they say it's the same members who were there when Serem was implementing these pay cut measures, and they did not defend MPs. So we saw that that list when it was being proposed to the National Assembly by Leader of Majority Adwen Duale. There was strong opposition from members present, and they said they will not recognize those members until and unless their packs are back. And just looking at the mileage allowances, it's something that was prone to abuse, because there were claims that some members of Parliament were claiming as much as 2 million shillings per month, especially those from far-flung constituencies. And there were at least from sources they did, at least some sources had identified at least four members of Parliament who are very, very culpable in involving themselves in such malpractices, where they were forging these, inflating these mileage allowances. That's why SRC came up with a provision that these particular allowances were to be pegged, so that if you exceeded a certain mileage, then there was a certain amount that you are supposed to be paid. It was not to exceed to 2 million shillings. But with the revert to these, the circular of November 2013, that by the SRC, it means in this window that has been provided by the courts, because it's according to the clerk of the National Assembly, Michael Siala, is just implementing the court orders that did stay that implementation of that Gazette notice. So MPs now will have to get these particular allowances that starting the end of this month, because that court order came on board on December 15th. Stopping the implementation. So MPs, we expect by month end, they'll be getting some of these this money, and also there is an opportunity for them now to go and grab that 5 million shillings car grant that had been scrapped by SRC, and instead they'd been told instead of that car grant they were supposed to take 7 million shillings in car loan. So some MPs have already taken advantage of the 5 million car grant to add to top on the 7 million shillings car loan. Then I think in the state of confusion, there was also SRC had removed that particular. They'd been given asked MPs to get a mortgage of a house mortgage of 20 million shillings. The SRC had also scrapped sitting allowances for the plenary sessions, because for the plenaries, MPs were to get a plenary sessions, they were getting a sitting allowance of 5,000 shillings. These, according to SRC, it was something that they are not entitled to, because they are working, they are in employment, they are supposed to sit in plenary. So SRC argued there was no reason why MPs should be paid for attending plenary sessions. And we saw also in the committees where chairpersons and vice chairpersons were getting 10,000 shillings. SRC scrapped that amount to 8,000 shillings, and for members it remained at 8,000 shillings, and also the sittings were reduced to 16 per week. So these are some of the measures that Sarah Serem took on board to ensure that MPs don't abuse these privileges. But from the look of things now, it's like those MPs might take advantage of this window period to claim these mileage, because now it is the mileage. It doesn't matter whether you'll exceed the mileage that was given by SRC, because that was the concern then, that some MPs were getting abnormal amounts in mileage claims, some to 2 million shillings, and I did indicate, Betty. But as it were, the matter is before the court until it's heard and determined. That's when we'll know whether this particular provision will continue and or it will be curtailed.
All right.
Betty?
Patrick, just looking at this conversation from a different angle, and like you mentioned rightfully that, seemingly it seems that the Kenya's war against the ballooning wage bill is getting lost, or we've already lost this particular one. And I won't even ask, the reactions that you've gotten from members of parliament, because it's obvious, I'm sure they're welcoming this particular move. But do they have any other suggestions or, ways that they think we can cap this waging bill that is ballooning, even as legislators?
I think Kenya is a man-eat society, so I think that's not one of their priority areas, because when it comes to defending their own, they'll defend their salaries and perks, those allowances, but maybe going out, maybe they might come with proposals that might affect the other general populace, but when it comes to the MPs themselves, I think they'll always defend their turf. That's why we see they had to rush to court, and they're also pushing the membership that those who will serve in the Parliamentary Service Commission must be people who will be able to comply with their demands. And these are some of the reasons that they are demanding. They want their allowances not to be touched. They want to be paid responsibility allowances. They want to still benefit from the mileage allowances. They want to still get those plenary sittings, all sittings, both in the plenary and the committee sessions. And, there is a way they can manipulate those sittings, because even when we saw the SRC team come up with those provisions and saying it will only be 16 sittings per week, MPs can come up with ad hoc committees and subcommittees, and through those committees they'll also increase their sittings. So there's still a loophole there, and they can manipulate the systems, and as long as they are in agreement, then nothing much can happen. We know very well that the country is grappling with the debt. There's a concern. The World Bank has raised concern. It's saying that the country needs to reduce its appetite for foreign debt, which is pulling the country to the wall, because currently we are dealing with a 4.4 trillion debt, money that was acquired within a 5-year period, because when the Kibaki administration left, Kenya had a debt of 1.2 trillion, but it's since risen to 4.4 trillion. And the World Bank has sent a warning out there together with the IMF. They are telling the government to stop its appetite for borrowing, because you find that most of this money that is borrowed ends up paying salaries and remunerations that doesn't go to development. That is why we see, when you read the reports from the Auditor General, from the Control of Budget, the main running complaint has been that state offices and government officials are misusing public funds on unnecessary expenditures, say foreign travel, maybe buying flowers and serving teas in offices and all that, things that don't matter when it comes to development. They've left their development agenda, and we find most of this money, even if it's borrowed, now goes up maybe meeting some of the lavish lifestyle for our leaders. So it's something that probably the Kenyan public out there needs to keep a close tab on, and ensure that the leaders probably live to the Chapter 6 of our Constitution. They must be people of integrity, and ensure that they not only enjoy themselves, but ensure also that they bend backwards, and ensure that people out there also benefit from these they benefit from government provisions, and ensure that these particular things don't hurt the common mananchi.
Right. Patrick Amimo, they're putting it rightly, it's a man-eat-man society. Right, and we're discussing the MPs' allowances. They, by the end of this month, they will be taking home about 1.3 million shillings, and this is after some provisions that was scrapped off by SRC were brought back yesterday. When it comes to mileage, car grants, all that is back. We want to now bring in my colleague Raquel Muigai joining us from Nyeri. We also just want to hear the thoughts of the residents there. Raquel, over to you.
Betty, the situation that MPs have been able to take home allowances that had been earlier scrapped off by the SRC is not really pleasing to residents here in Nyeri County. And just to get exactly what their feelings are, I'll just have around 3 of them to just give us what they think about MPs getting back this kind of allowances that had been earlier scrapped off. Thank you so much for joining KTN News. Tafadhali tueleze hisia zako ni nini kwamba MPs wamepata kuongezewa zile allowances ambazo zilikuwa zimetupiliwa mbali hapo awali?
Mimi hisia zangu ni kwamba hata hiyo maneno imestutusha sana huku Nyeri, sababu walikuwa wanajua akienda huko katika bunge ile mishahara ilikuwa imewekwa na Sara Selem. Sasa hata linastua wa Kenya sana huku Nyeri, sababu hata hawatujari zile maneno wanapitisha bunge ni zile zinawahusisha sana, lakini zile zinawahusisha wananchi wa kawaida hiyo washughuliki. Sasa hiyo maneno imetukasirisha sana, ni kama hawajui hata shida ya Kenya yenye inakubana nayo kwa hii wakati. Pia wasitengeneshe Kenya kama ikuwe ni kama ile shamba la wanyama, wanajijari lakini washughuliki maneno ya watu wengine. Asante.
Asante sana. Let's get a few more residents to be able to just tell us what are your sentiments because of arising from MPs getting the allowances that had been earlier scrapped off.
Naweza sema hiyo kuongeza mshahara ni kama kufinyilia Mkenya. Sisi tukiwachagua hapo, tukiwachagua waende watufanyie kazi. Sasa vyenye mtu ameenda hapo hajamaliza mwezi anataka mshahara, anataka allowances. Mimi Mkenya mwenye niko na huku mashinani, unga ananunua 200, yeye ananunua 200, unless labda tuseme kuna nchi tutofautanishwe kuwe na nchi ya matajiri ya maskini. Ndio ukichagua maskini wenyu unajua yeye ataenda kusaidia. Ukichagua tajiri unajua yeye ataenda kukulia. Lakini kwa hivyo tuseme kwa hivyo vile wanafanya kama hawataki president mwenye ako kwa kiti, kama hawamtaki mara nyingine tena, kumaanisha wanafanya Wakenya wasikie uchungu hiyo kuongeza mshahara. Wapunguze.
Labda pia ukatueleza hisia zako ni gani? Yeah, MPs kupata zile allowances zilikuwa zimescrapiwa off na SRC.
Najua MPs kupata mshahara ya juu na sisi wananchi wa kawaida tuko na shida kubwa sana. Najua vile walikuwa wamechakuliwa, kitu ya kwanza tuliwachakua ili wafanye kazi. Hatukuwachakua ili wao wajiongezee mshahara. Sasa unajua wao wakijiongezea mshahara inamaanisha kwamba wao ilikuwa nia yao ilikuwa tu yani tudanganywe sisi kwamba tumewachagua watufanyie kazi, na ili hali wao walikuwa tu na lengo ya pesa. Unajua kupata pesa sisi kama sisi wananchi wa kawaida wale tuliwachagua tunasikia yani tunaumia, sababu saa hii kama ukiangalia counties mingi ziko na shida. Ukiangalia kama ni machoo ziko na shida, hazina maji haya hawajatengeneza vile walikuwa wamesema. Sasa kujipatia mambo ya pesa mapema, najua next time 2022 tutawakisimama watudanganye, we will not take them. Hatutawachakua kwa sababu najua tumechakua wale watu tunaona kwamba hakuna mahali wanatupeleka. Walituambia kwamba watatusaidia ili at least kaunti zetu zikuwe na utofauti, unaona. Lakini sasa najua amechakua at least kama ni amechakuliwa, unaona angehakikisha kama ni kaunti yake, kama ni maji, kama ni stima imewekwa. Unaona kama sisi wengine tunapita kwa giza. Sasa tukipita kwa giza na tuliwachagua na sasa wao wanajiongezea mshahara, hiyo si kitu ya maana.
Thank you so much. Asante sana. Betty, if I could just get one more final person to just give us exactly their sentiments. And as you actually see, it's not really going well with some of these residents stating that they had elected them to actually work for the people and not get to just increase the allowances for themselves. Thank you so much. Asante sana kwa kujiunga na KTN News. Tafadhali nieleze hisia zako ni gani vile MPs wamepata kuongezewa zile mishahara ambazo zilikuwa zimeondolewa hapo awali?
Mimi sina la kusema.
Asante sana. Labda tukapata mwingine. Asante kwa kujiunga na KTN News. Tafadhali kuja uzungumze nasi. Betty, it is a kind of situation here. As MPs, as the case is to be heard before Justice George Odunga, what appears is that at least the MPs will just get to take away that 278 million that will be coughed out from taxpayers' money at the end of this month. Therefore, until then, Kenyans have to wait and exactly see what is going to happen with this case. Betty.
Right, Rahel Muigai, some Nyeri residents there, they just say, they don't have anything to say about this. Maybe it's a shock. Let me bring